Hello friends, welcome to the tutorial Learning FastAPI for Python. This is a web framework for Python and this is our 10th video of the series. In this video, I am going to cover validating Pydantic models using Pydantic fields. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button below, and also don't forget to click on the bell icon next to it. In this video, I am going to show you how to declare validation and metadata for the Pydantic models using Pydantic fields. In our previous videos, you saw how to add validations to the query path parameters using the query and path objects. In the same way, we can declare validation and metadata inside the Pydantic models using Pydantic fields. So let me start with a simple script over here. This script doesn't contain anything except for two classes, the item and the user class. The first step in adding validations to the Pydantic model is by importing the field module. Now you can see in the item class there are four attributes: name, description, price and tax. So after importing the field module, all that we need is go ahead and update the class into which we need to add the validations. So in this case, it is going to be item. So for each attribute, we can add a different set of validations depending on our requirements. Let us start by adding it for description. So I can start by typing field, and then the rest of the things are very simple. I'm going to say none, so that makes it an optional parameter. Then I'm going to give a title to this, so that a short description what the user can understand what this field is about. And then I would want to specify what is the maximum length. So I'm going to say max underscore length to 50. And then let me add for this numeric attribute here. It's of type float. So I'm going to say field. Remember all the things what we included. ... makes it mandatory. That is, it should be greater than 0 and lesser than or equal to, I'll say 100, and then I'm going to give a description to this field. Now let me go ahead and add a function over here. I'll copy the code instead of typing everything. So now I've declared a function. It takes item ID as a path parameter over here, and then the HTTP, it's of type HTTP put request, and the name of the function is update item. This is the path to access it. And then we have item ID, the path parameter declared over here, and then we have the item. Inside the body, I have declared it as embedded is equal to true. So now let me go ahead and run this code. Now you can see I have one method of type put. There is one path parameter over here, and we have the schema that's referenced here. Now if you want to see the details, you can see it over here. In the schema, it mentions name is of type string, title. In case of description, there is a description that we entered, description of the item, and then the maximum length is 250 characters. And in this case, number, the price, maximum is 100 and minimum is 0. And then this is the description that we gave there. The price must be greater than 0 and less than or equal to 100. Now let me try this out. Now I'm going to pass this as it is. In this case, I'm going to pass value as item ID as 1. Now when I try to submit, just see what happens. It's submitted, but I got an error. It says that ensure this value. Which value? Value for price, okay, should be greater than 0. Now what if I go ahead and give it as 200? Same thing. It says ensure this value is less than or equal to 100. Okay, I'll give it as 10, but in this case I'm going to type in a huge string that will be more than 250. If I type this, you can see that the limit is there. it should not be greater than 250, right? Now let me go ahead and say an item value is 5, and then when I execute that, I get back whatever I passed in. The code executed successfully. From this you can see that like how easy it is to go ahead and add the validations as well as some metadata to each attribute that is there in the object. You should notice one thing in the code, that unlike the query path and body parameters which are imported from FastAPI package, the field is imported from Pydantic and not FastAPI. Before proceeding, notice the similarity between the query path and the field functions that we have used till now. They all take the same set of arguments and work similarly. I could go ahead and add ellipses to make it required or none to make it optional. I could give a title. I can also specify a maximum and minimum length. And in case of numbers, I can go ahead and specify greater than or greater than and equal to, and lesser than or lesser than equal to. And then I can either make it mandatory or as well as I can also go ahead and add validations based on regular expressions. Now let us see passing some extra parameters apart from those that has been defined in the field. In all field, path, query and body and other such objects that you will see later in the coming videos, you can declare extra parameters apart from those that are already described. These parameters will be added as is to the output JSON schema. That is, it will appear in the JSON schema. Also have one thing in mind, that extra parameters that we pass won't add any kind of validation. It only annotates, and it's only there for documentation purpose. That is, if you want to add some information or provide some extra information about the class, you can add this extra parameters. Let me show you with an example. In the item body, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some extra parameters. I'm going to say comma and then add this. So this is another example, is not actually defined in the body as a parameter, but this is something that I have included. Now if I run this code, this is how the schema appears before adding this additional parameters. Now once I refresh this, notice the changes. Here whatever I have specified in the example, that it takes that as a schema. So that way I can specify properly to the users what they can actually pass in, how they will have to pass it with proper examples. Just remember that this is there only for documentation purpose and it doesn't provide any other additional benefits. It doesn't mean that okay, like just because I have given these values, I can't implement any kind of validation rules on this. Okay. That's it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to cover nested models in body, request body parameter. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button below. And also don't forget to click on the bell icon next to it. Thank you.